Hello everyone, this is Persephone, and today I want to talk to you about why I think that a female friendship is totally fake and a hoax. And in my entire life, I only had two women that I consider genuine friends. And I had tried to befriend and spend time with literally several hundreds of women because my father was in the army and we moved constantly. And I also had 24 jobs as a civilian, so there were a lot of female colleagues. And also, I was in the adult industry, even though digitally. And that has confirmed my suspicion that either I'm doing it wrong or everything we see in the movies, like, that stuff doesn't really happen. And personally, I'm a person that I believe very much that friendship is for the good times. That if you have money and you're good health and time, it's great to have people to have fun with and do useful activities with, like work out together, spend quality time together. But friendship for the sake of friendship, as in like sisterhood, I consider that a total hoax. And during my life, I had extreme hostility from women, and there are people who told me, how come you didn't hate men after all of that abuse? Because it's a very common thing, unfortunately, that after you are in the adult industry in any form, like as a cam girl, as an escort, as an OnlyFans performer, a lot of women say that it makes them very jaded towards men, very suspicious, it makes it very difficult to date. And I'm not here to invalidate anyone. Each person has their own experiences and they are valid, but to me, the abuse that I have experienced because of men, even the craziest men, even the men who threatened to kill me, even the men who hit me, it's nothing compared to the abuse that I've experienced because of women over my life. Women were far, far worse than the men, and the great majority of them also went completely unpunished. The reason why I'm making this video is I want to see if it resonates with other women and other people in general, like all genders are welcome in this channel. So, over my life in different friendships, I found a pattern emerging again and again, that although we started with the best of terms, like there were women that I had common interests with, there were women that I worked with, and it was for everyone's best interest to form a good team. There were women that we started in childhood together, and then there was specifically one of them that we were classmates and we were friends, and then I moved away because of my dad, and then we got reunited many years later in the same town. It was like almost like how you see in movies. I walked into a fast food restaurant and she was sitting there and I didn't recognize her, and she did, and she called me, and it was like one of these honestly like Disney friendship sisterhood type of movies. And then it all comes crashing down every single time. And if you ask why, I'm going to say it's because women make everything a competition sooner rather than later. And of course, someone can say, and very reasonably, because my narcissistic mother always said, as we all know, autistic people are friendless. That's what she would say. You're going to like live alone in some apartment with 1,000 cats, or if you were born 100 years earlier, you would be the witch living in the outskirts of the village. So I was carrying this huge chip on my shoulders that I'm not neurotypical, so it's normal that it doesn't work out with neurotypical friends. So I started to try to befriend people who were also non-neurotypical. Either they had some other mental illness, like borderline, bipolar, whatever, or they were also autistic. And I'm talking about, I befriended people who were officially diagnosed, not just a person taking a 2-minute test and then self-diagnosing, and it also turned into a competition. That was before I entered the digital Jezebel industry. When women hear you do this kind of job and they are not in the industry, they treat you like you have cholera, or that you are out there to get their husband. It's like you specifically joined OnlyFans to make an account, send it to their husband, and steal him. It doesn't matter if the husband is 75 years old and 300 pounds and he leeches off of his mom's welfare, so you have no reason to go after him, the woman will still think that he's the prize. And another big hoax was the sex worker solidarity. I'm extremely bitter about that. I'm sorry that you have to bear with me. And that was the biggest hoax out of all. Sex workers do not support other sex workers. they pretend to do, and then they give you the fakest advice on the galaxy to make you fail, or they just start. I had people stealing my pictures and catfishing as me. I had people messaging the men who were my regulars, trying to steal them. I had people calling me out and saying horribly racist things, horribly ableist things, and then hiding behind nonsense. I was thinking for a very long time, why was this happening to me? Why couldn't I have any female friends? And with these women, we always ended up, almost always, breaking up. It was a form of breakup in horrible terms. There was a girl that I had befriended in college that at first she seemed like the sweetest, nicest girl, and she talked to me first, and we were like 18, and then she became the biggest control freak you can ever imagine. Like, I had controlling boyfriends, I had a controlling father, there was nothing. These people were like angels compared to this woman. To tell you an example, she would come to me when Facebook was a thing. Now I don't even use that, it's like for boomers. And she would say, why don't you put your birthday on your Facebook? That's an actual incident. I said, because I don't care about it. She said, yeah, but you're going to get birthday wishes. I was like, I don't care to get birthday wishes from people who just get a notification. I mean, if someone remembers my birthday, like we're very close and want to say happy birthday, that's great, I appreciate it. But other than that, I don't really celebrate my birthday. And that is something I'm going to talk about on future videos about narcissism, because my narcissistic mother ruined everyone's special occasions, so I was conditioned to not celebrate anything and also not mourn anything. What they said about like being in a witness protection program. So I was like, it doesn't matter to me. Then she said, I have my birthday on my Facebook. I was like, okay, good for you. You can do whatever you want, it's your profile. And then she would bring it up every day. I kid you not. Like, we had a public screaming match because I would tell her, I'm not going to do it, and that's like the last time I discuss it, and I'm going to stop talking to you. Isn't that like completely stupid to argue over something so insignificant? And she would say, no, you have to do it. Everyone has their birthday on Facebook. Now take that stupid example and expand it to everything in life. Like, what time are we going to eat lunch? When are we going to do the school project? Who am I talking to? Who am I not talking to? Eventually, she was one of these people that I walked up to. I said, I never want to see you or talk to you again in my entire life, and then I walked away. If someone is my friend for a period of time in both of our lives that we align, that's great, but I don't believe when people say, oh, we're going to be best friends forever, and we're going to get matching tattoos of friendship, and we're going to be like these old friends sitting and drinking a cup of coffee that we see in Starbucks. I just roll my eyes, like no one knows the future. Most likely that's not going to happen. Another reason is that, honestly, a lot of women are very insecure and they are obsessed with men. And they want to make other women a free therapist. I had so many women who were extremely needy. They would talk to me about their problems like non-stop. And that's not a bad thing by itself. Obviously, I understand that in friendship, we have to support other people. And in any social group, people have to support each other. That's the whole point of like forming social groups, to survive together. But the problem is that a great percentage of these women were dysfunctional people who never really actually wanted to bite the bullet and solve the problem. Like, there was a person that she was severely overweight, she was obese, and I believe now that for a very big percentage of people who are obese, it has to do with past sexual abuse. I know this is very controversial. I know that it's not for, like, not everyone who is obese has been sexually abused, but I've seen this pattern in my friendships over and over, that people become obese because they have been sexually abused or molested as children, and it serves as a protective mechanism. Subconsciously, they make themselves unattractive to potential predators, and that is like really tragic. So I was encouraging her to see a psychiatrist to discuss what happened, because there are always emotional reasons why would someone become morbidly obese. No one just wakes up one day and say, hey, I'm going to like start consuming 20,000 calories a day and rot on the couch. That's one reason why I would never make fun of anyone's weight, with one exception. I'm going to say that you'll never see me commenting on anyone's weight. You'll never see me leaving negative comments on celebrities, on other people's YouTube channels, under their pictures. You will never see me even participating in this type of gossip in real life. Like 99% of the cases, I will never do that. It's none of my business. But if you cross the 1% line where you are coming after me with everything you have, anything I can use against you becomes fair game. I give back what I get. So if I know that you're insecure about your weight, in that 1% chance, I'm going to use it. This girl was obese. She was constantly complaining about it, like I had to listen to her for hours and hours every month. And then she would do extremely self-destructive things. Like she would start a 3-day fast from food and water. She was losing some weight, and after the fast was over, she was getting it all back, because you know how unhealthy this is. I think that a lot of people have a lot of trauma, a lot of problems, and they're not willing to work on them, and they seem to be attracting these people, or they're just a huge percentage. And last but not least, there was always so much drama, and if something happened with their family, they would drop off the face of the earth. Family comes first. Again, I get that. I'm not against it. Or they would bring other people into the drama, like there is this girl, she starts dating a guy, and the guy doesn't like me, or the guy likes me a little bit too much, and she becomes suspicious, and getting rid of me instead of the guy is the first thing to do. So this happened for years and years and years, and after some point I said, enough is enough. I went through a period where I had 0 friends, and I was proud of it. Like, I even have a video from a few years ago saying why I don't have any friends. But also that, after some point, felt like a defeat. Because I think that if too many toxic people make you stop doing something out of fear, because it was eventually fear, and it was that I didn't want to deal with any more drama, but it was restrictive. So I came up with a system that I want to share with you today that was actually inspired from Patreon. And if you say you're psychotic and this is narcissistic, you're free to have your own opinion. It works for me, that's why I share it. That is the friendship tier system. So the friendship tier system, that is my invention, expands in a span of 10 years. So in the friendship tier system, we have the first level, which is people that I know less than 1 year, and they show a lot of potential as friends. I consider these people fun to go out with. I'm going to share some things with them, not too many, and I take my time to get to know them. I'm not going to prioritize them. I'm honest here, like if I can go out and you can go out, fine. If not, also fine. As time goes by, people who have done well in the first year move on to the second and third year, where there are people that they know more about me. They probably know about the involvement that I had in the OnlyFans industry and things that happened with my mother, that my mother is the main abuser, that she's not a nice person, that she's a narcissist, especially if people are educated about narcissism and other disorders. I share more. There are people in that tier, on the third year, that we align in life in at least 3 areas. For example, I'm child-free, they're child-free, I love cats, they love cats, and so on. Now, after that, it's going to be the 6 to 7 year tier, where there are people that they have proven themselves over time. And these are people that I'm going to go the extra mile with, like people that if they are in financial need and I can support or help them or give them money, I'm going to do so, often without expecting the money back. And that's not because I'm a sucker giving free money, it's because they would have done the same for me, or they helped me in some other way. There are also people that at this level I start to collaborate with professionally. They may be writers, they may also be like content creators, or maybe we do something in real life. That was also my assistant, that when I had the OnlyFans and I didn't have enough time for everything because we had too many fans, that she would do things like she would do editing, or she would do re-envy many vids, or she would ship items and stuff, and I would pay her, and we were also friends. And I trusted her that she's not going to go around saying, hey, do you know how we got this money? And actually there's no one on the 10 years, because I didn't start, it hasn't been 10 years ever since I came up with that idea, but on the 10 years are going to be people that I will consider them my family of choice. I have now some red flags that they're non-negotiable, that I came up with a lot of trial and error, that if you say something that makes me feel insecure more than a few times, and I tell you that it bothers me and you continue, you're gone. If you have a lot of problems that they're cyclical and they keep repeating and you don't solve them, you're gone. If you're this type of person that gives backhanded compliments saying, oh, pink hair, look good on you, it's so much better than blonde, that made you look so pale like you're sick. This is a one and done type of thing. Either give a compliment or give none. I'm not going to waste a second of my life to wonder, why did she say this? Why did she do this? Why didn't she pick up? You have to be a mature adult. And my ideal type of friend is a friend who also has a business mindset and a self-development mindset. And last but not least, there is a category of people that really, discriminated against me in the past, and they call everyone their best friend. And then you hear a woman say, this is my best friend that I haven't seen here in 7 years, but we are still best friends. My definition of friendship is that we have to see each other. By see, I mean even online. It doesn't have to be in real life, but if we haven't talked in 7 years, you are a former friend and someone that I used to know, and to call someone you don't see or talk to in years and years, in my opinion, a friend, it's ridiculous, and it just shows how insecure you are. I'm one of these people that, again, 95% of the times I'm able to let go. If not to forgive, to move on and to reach a state of indifference and acceptance. This is how this person is. They're flawed. I'm also flawed. So we're not going to waste our lives over something that happened. But on the other 5%, my hate gets stronger over time. It's like high quality wine. The more time is passing, the stronger it becomes. So because I think 2 years have passed ever since I went no contact with that person, and I really, really, really am angry over what happened, maybe they're going to get their own video without their real name, where I'm just curious to see what other people think when someone treats you that way and then has the nerve to contact you on various adult sites with the entitlement that you're going to be friends again because you know they're so awesome that everyone is obligated to be their friend. Safe trip back to the basement. Thank you for watching.